Apologies for the terrible sound quality. It was very noisy outside today. You can hear the Senco mini compressor in the background. Although it's quiet, it takes a hell of a long time to do anything. It takes ages to charge up. It's really good, but I mean, for one blast of air, you have to wait several minutes for it to recharge. So apart from really a very simple nail gun up or pinning up, it's pretty useless, but I just like it because it's portable, even though it doesn't really do its job. I mean, it takes 2-3 minutes to get up to pressure, and that pressure's gone instantly, as I will show you in a second. Hold on. I'm just blasting the sawdust out of this hole in this bit of oak. Switch it off. So that's it off. And that's it fully discharged. So you get just, 5-10 seconds of air blast. Anyway, this is the oak mantle that I cut in half to make a shelf because it was too heavy for the wall. So I've cut it in half with a circular saw, 2 slices each side, and now I've got this very interesting hole in the middle, which is a sort of rotten bit. Apparently oak rots from the inside. I've sanded it down and I'm going to fill it with epoxy resin to make it into a feature. So watch this space. And here's all the tools you need to do this simple job. And that doesn't include all the circular saws and the hand saws that went into cutting it in the first place, because it's 8 inches wide or deep. Epoxy is self-leveling, so you have to try and get a good level bit or it'll just pour over the sides. Sometimes in oak the epoxy can pour right through, it can find a way right through, and that's a disaster. I really hope that's not going to happen here. The other problem I've got is that this hole's much bigger than I thought and I've run out of epoxy. But I'm going to pour some in and see what happens. So here's the problem with epoxy, that's the mixing pots. The problem is the damn stuff gets everywhere. I didn't quite have enough. You can see it, I don't know if you can see it. The light's really bad here. The iPhone doesn't like adjusting to brightness, does it? Anyway, the point is that a lot of it is soaked in. So I'm going to have to buy some more and get a second pour. You can maybe see it there, can you? Other problems I've had with epoxy is it doesn't always harden. You need to put in probably a bit more hardener than it says to make sure it does harden. Otherwise it ends up like this other bit of work I did over here, which is a starring concrete. You see, it's even after several years it's still bleeding because it never set properly, because I needed to use more hardener than it said in the instructions. So I'll need to buy some more. Again, the trouble with a second pour is it might look bad. The great thing about one pour is you get that glassy, translucent, transparent, perfect effect. But if you pour a second one, you can maybe see where the layer's been poured. But what can I do? Anyway, it should stop the rot, should preserve it, should look nice, hopefully. But epoxy, once you get it on your hands and stuff as well, it's a nightmare. You need turpentine, you need white spirit, you need soap, you need to scrub it off. It's a really horrible stuff. And one occasion a bit hardened, and without seeing it obviously I walked on it and it went deep into my foot, and for 6 months I was limping until I finally got a hunting knife and dug it out. I was due to have surgery for it, but they wanted to knock me out, put me under general anaesthetic. But I thought it's rather ridiculous for a bit of stuff in your foot. So I just sliced it out with a knife. And the surgeon checked it, did an x-ray and said it was a perfect job. And if I had a degree in medicine I could have been a surgeon, but I don't have a degree in medicine. I've got a degree in physics and a degree in law. both of which are fairly useless unless you've got a PhD or your dad's got a law firm. My worst fears, this resin, and I don't know how he's done it because I couldn't see. The other side looks completely fine. This resin has soaked through underneath and is bleeding out the base, which is incredible because the base looked to me, you can see under there a pool of resin, shit and double shit. The base looked to me perfect and completely sealed, well deep and everything else, but it's another resin fail. I've had so many resin fails. This bloody stuff seeps through everything and gets everywhere. It's hard to know what you know about resin. What you're meant to do, of course, is create a resin bath where you drop the whole thing into a sealed container, and then the sealed container simply can't leak because it's completely watertight or resin tight. But you can see that all the resin I've put in today, you can see under there, has leaked through the other side. And even though the other side looks to be completely free of cracks, somehow this stuff has found its way into an internal crack, and then another internal crack, and then a hole, and then a fault and a flaw, and seeped through. It's just brilliant at seeping through. The other thing you could do is you could mix the resin and leave it for an hour or two till it's almost hard, and then pour it. But if you do that, it tends to be a much darker colour, and you don't get the effect. You don't get that ability to see the wood grain and all the fibres underneath that you really want to see. But this is basically a total fail. All of the resin that I've mixed has gone through, and now I'm going to have to turn it over and somehow seal up the other side, which is not easy to do, and then pour it all over again. Great, eh? Resin adventures. I don't recommend this really to anybody unless you've got lots of time and patience and knowledge.